You see what happened to that lumber? The lumber has collapsed. PK here with another episode of Out of the Box. On the weekend, and the name of the show for Out of the Box we're going to talk about real short, I'll try to knock it out quickly again, is the lumber collapse, and coming soon is the CRB index. I mentioned in another video, I think the CRB index has put it a high, and things like, we know, look, the lumber, I'll mention in a minute, the copper's down, the soybeans have come off, the gold and silver has held steady but seems to be breaking down again. Now let's talk about where we're at. I got my notes, as you know. I'm here in Eastern Europe. I think you know that. I've said that a number of times. We're going home in about a week, back to Florida. I mentioned before, don't come to Europe this summer. It's a total disaster, even though you see in the news they're opening things. But it's just the whole vibe. I would wait till next summer. Hopefully it'll be much better. So let's get back here. The lumber has crashed 40%. Now this is a crash. I know everyone says that dollars are going to crash, the stock market's going to crash. I'll tell you what crashed. PK will tell you what crashed. It's the lumber. In fact, it's dropped 40%. In fact, it's been the biggest drop in history. I read this last week. It's down about 18%. And and the reason is now they got the mills. Remember, this is all crisis related, of them shutting everything down during the lockdown last year and letting everybody go, not go to work. This what's created this inflation, quote, a hyperinflation scare. And I'm telling you, PK's telling you, it's not going to happen. This is one giant conspiracy theory. I've mentioned this over and over again to you guys. I feel I'm all alone. Of course, yeah, I'm all alone for somebody who's a nobody. But as I mentioned before, this Kathy Wood from ARK Investments, go check it out yourself. You should look on the YouTube. She'll give a detailed explanation of what I'm trying to tell you in simple terms. So anyway, deflation is coming. The high is in for the CRB index. And this is going to cause that whole argument of inflation, deflation, out the window. This argument is out. I'm telling you, you're going to see what happens. Let's talk about number two, the market action. I mentioned this before. The last couple weeks, if you've been following the government reports, I actually did a video about trading off the news, and I told you before, one of the best signals, if you want to call it that, or clues, I like to use that word, is when you have very bad news and the market still, they say fights the news and goes up. This is a very strong buy signal, and again, we had bad news on Friday's reports. 3 weeks in a row, 3 bad numbers, the market goes up. It should be crashing, but it's not. And this is very telling. That means there's no fear in the market. The VIX is dropping. And look, I'm not in. Let you get in. I'm hoping for some drop. Maybe there'll be some short-term drop. We can get long here. But I'm telling you, the market continues to fight the bad news. Regarding the gold and silver, you know the silver. Here's my silver. Yeah, actually, this is white gold I got here in Bulgaria. This is my only stack for you stackers. This is about the only stacking that I'm doing in the silver. Actually, it's the gold, white gold. But what do we have coming up? Everyone's talking about for you gold and silver followers, the Basel III. June 28th, they're going to talk about these things about reclassifying it as an asset, and it should affect the gold. And they're expecting gold to go much higher. It's going to be one big nothing. I'm telling you that now. So don't be surprised. Buy the rumor, sell the fact. The fact's the 28th. I think we could head lower. Then I think gold and silver is going to be a good buy. It's even shown some weakness the last couple of days in the trading. If you've been following it Thursday and Friday, the action looks like we're down for getting a pullback. I want to see it because I think we're definitely in an uptrend. But to me, it's just another trade. It's not something, this whole fear-based thing, this is out. Now that the CRB index is dropping, the fact that the lumber, I keep going back to the lumber, because the reason I go back to the lumber, guys, is because it's a very thin market, and if they really, of course the prices have tripled, but the fact it's come off 40%, this is a crash, and quickly too. I even have the lumber chart up in my thumbnail. Take a look at it. Or you're looking for yourself. It's LBN 21 is the symbol. Anyway, so I think gold and silver could go higher, so that's not a big a deal. Let's see, and the last thing I'm going to mention, you remember this? It's a cup and a handle. And I mention this why? Because this pattern seems to be developing in some of the stocks, in some of the futures. And again, this is for coffee, it's for tea, it's not for trading. Don't draw all these lines way too subjective. So forget that. Anyway, I try to keep it under 5 minutes for 6 minutes. So I'm trying to quickly wrap this thing up. So the conclusion is, for coming soon, the CRB index, look for a big drop, all because the lumber is the big clue, the lumber collapse. Number one, as I said, CRB is going to be lower. Number two, I think interest rates, watch the 30-year bond market. I know all they talk about is the 10-year. The 30-year is really what gives you the clue for long-term direction. And I think this is going to be range-bound. First, maybe it could come lower, but they're not, that bond market, again, is fighting the news. The interest should be going up with all this bad economic news the last few weeks. You see it's dropping. Again, this is a very powerful buy signal. And let's see, as I mentioned before, and of course, the last thing is, I am telling you, in conclusion, this stock market is going much higher. Everyone's going to be wrong. I'm telling you right now, market today is June 12th, 2021. I'm sticking my neck out. I'm not in. I'm dying to get in. I'm wishing for some pullback. I'm sure we'll get one at some point. And I mean a real good pullback. 5%. I can't give you the number because I don't believe in technical analysis can tell you these things. I just know there'll be a point in time it'll be a good buy, similar to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going to be a buy maybe a few weeks from now, a month from now, 2 months from now. We need this thing to work out. It's the same with the stock market. I'm waiting for some drop, but I'm telling you the long term, the next 5 years, the market is going much higher. We're in a boom economy, deflationary period. You're going to see everyone on this YouTube, they're all crazy. They're going to be wrong. Anyway, so I've said enough. 8 minutes. Time is up. PK with Out of the Box here, living out of the box in Sofia, Bulgaria, waiting to come back to our beautiful America. Hopefully next week, I think Thursday. Ciao, everybody.